Yo guys, I'm back again, and I was driving my car today and I came across a track from Refusion, I guess. It was called Around the World, and I really liked it until the drop came. So I thought, maybe I can make a remix of that track too and do it my way. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to record the whole thing, how I make the track from start to finish, and I hope I will actually finish it this time instead of the other tutorials where I just am like, nah, because I didn't really like the melody or whatever. So yeah, I'm just going to record everything and show you really what I do to make a whole track and a remix for this time. So what I did is I extracted the vocal from this track from Rehab because that was the best vocal I could find. Yeah, let's just play around with it. So let's start up FL Studio. By the way, I am downloading Complete Ultimate right now because it was Black Friday. Speaking of Black Friday, my Silent One bank and my sample pack both have some discounts. 50% off if you use the code. Let me just type it down. Black Friday 2019. Pretty easy. That's the code. If you use it for my sample pack or my Silent One bank, you will get 50% off. Fruity Masters also does some discounts. I don't know how much it is, but it's a discount, so that's always nice. Type in the code Black Fruity and you'll get something of, I'm not sure how much. But yeah, that's up to you. Now, let's start. I reset my PC, I think last Saturday or the week before that. So I still got some installing stuff to do, like East West, for example. But yeah, let's just start up a new project and let's do it right immediately. So go to File, New from Template, Minimal, and click Empty. Now the reason why I do that is because I don't need these samples right here, because I never use them. And on the master there's a limiter at the bottom here, and if you go clipping a little bit, or if you go clipping hard, it will just cut it off and it will sound terrible. So I just want to avoid that. I got that out of the way, so let's insert the vocals and just let's remake the melody of the vocals. So let's see where it starts.
Oh, not another word, just all I that I have never like an kisses of the sun. What sweet idea.
Oh, it actually starts right there. So that's nice. I believe the BPM is 125, but I'm not sure about that. So I'm going to stretch the vocal. How I do that is I set the project tempo to 150 for hardstyle, obviously. Then right click on the time knob of the sample, click auto detect, type in BPM, and that's why you have to know the BPM of the original. So type in 125, and click, let's do stretch.
Sweet, I didn't think I let it in my eyes. Like an exotic dream, the radio playing songs that I have never heard of.
Right, so let's actually remake it right now. So let's add a pattern right here. Let's load up Silent One right there. Init preset. And another skin, because I hate this skin. I really like Nitro. I just like this look and the meter right here. I really like it. So let's see if we can recreate the vocal. Now, I like it when I see which notes they are. I mean, I know them, but it's just quicker if I can see them. Now, let's see if I can actually find them right here. I think this is way easier to work with.
This is this is this is this is this is of the this is of the sun. 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 Was sweet, I didn't think I let it in my eyes. Like an exotic demon when you're playing songs. This is of the sun. Was sweet, I did you're playing songs that I had never heard. I don't know what to say. Oh, not another word to stop.
Alright, so that's the melody. It's actually really easy, and I think it's even in C major. So let's make it even easier. So now let's play with it a bit to make it a bit more energetic, because this might be boring to some of you. So I'm just going to think of something. Alright, so this is what I got now. It's pretty similar to the one from Refusion, but then again, you cannot do a whole lot with this melody. So maybe I can do something different in the future, but for now, it's like this. So, yeah. Now let's get the bass line from the track. Well, we can do this pretty easily, obviously, because I got the bass right here. Let's put an EQ on it. Whoa. And let's select picture. Minimum is 25 Hertz. And let's detach it, so it's always on the front. Alright, so the bass is not very clear. Maybe when I add the drums it will be a bit clearer, but I'm not sure. I don't think so, but it starts with an A. So let's add a new silent one. Let's just clone it. Okay, so it starts with an A. I think it's an E, but I'm not sure. Oh, that's pretty weird. I've never heard this before. So when I put those bass lines here, it actually sounds like the melody is starting up high and going lower, but it's the other way around. That's pretty cool. I was actually right with the bass line. Very nice. Alright. Let's remove these. Remove those. Now let's copy the melody over to the bass. A couple of octaves down. Now if you select a part and you click Ctrl B, you will also automatically duplicate it next to the other part. So that's pretty easy. Remember that shortcut. Right, so this is now the bass line. So let's figure out the chords. Now I know Fruity Masters just places down the chords and doesn't really explain anything. So I'm going to try to explain what I do when I make chords. So I'm just going to clone this, copy it over, and let's make some chords. Now, oh, I copied the wrong one. I need to copy this one. Now, in electronic dance music, most of the time you just got major chords and minor chords. Obviously there are exceptions, but that's mostly what is used. And you know, I made a lot of remakes and I never found any track with other chords than major or minor. So that's what we're going to do today. Now we obviously have our bass line here. We're going to duplicate it or copy it. So by holding Shift and releasing Shift, you can drag the bass line. Now let's put it in 2 octaves up. Maybe another one. Now let's keep it on A4. Let's check the polyphony. It's at 3 right now. So that means that you can stack 3 notes on top of each other and it will play only those 3 notes. So for example, if you have 5 notes on top of each other, it will only play 3 of the 5 notes. And I think that has to do with the energy saving for the CPU. So let's put that to 4 because we want 4 notes on top of each other, so the bass line and the chords. Now, the way it works with major and minor chords is you can, for a major chord, you can grab the notes, duplicate them just like we did before, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4 up. And then you duplicate them again and you go 1, 2, 3. Am I saying that right? Yes, I am. Okay, so you go 4 up and 3 up. Now we can listen to it and see what it sounds like. Oh, I actually did it twice. That was not what I meant to do. Right, so let's listen to these chords we just made. I'm not sure about this chord right here, but if we put it to minor, it will sound even worse. It will sound like this. So major sounds better, so I'll keep it at major. Now let's actually drop it an octave down and make it an octave higher in silent one. So it will sound the same, but the MIDI is on basically one line. So the melody and the chords are on the same line. Now what I then most of the time do is let the melody return in the chords. And what I mean by that is you have the melody and these notes are the top notes of the chords. So I'm selecting those and I'm dropping them down because the A is the note of the melody. And I do that with the rest of them as well. So I'll keep this where it is because E is the note right here. And same is for this. Now with this one, I'll just drop the C one down so it matches with the melody. So there are a couple of things you can do. You can actually put the D down to the C right here, or you can put this an octave down and set the B one note higher. Let's actually add a chord sound to this because it's a bit annoying to work with the init preset. So let's load up my bank and select chords 5 because I really like the sound of that. And let's transpose this up again. Now this sounds a lot better already. Yeah, I think this sounds better. So the original chords were like this. And now it's like this. It sounds a lot more lively. So the bass notes are the same. So let's just copy it over. Again, using Ctrl B. Now there are some differences in the melody, so I'm going to adjust those. Okay, now if we add a lead sound to this one, so a simple lead sound, top lead 1, so if we add that, let's see what it sounds like right now. Doesn't sound bad at all. So let's start the layering right now. So let's insert a layer and I'll explain why and what it does. So you may already know it, but let's say we clone this. And let's copy the melody. And I would want to change something in the melody, like make these notes longer, for example. I have to do it twice because I got 2 lead layers now. And say I got 3 or 4 or 5 lead layers, I got to do it 3 or 4 or 5 times. So if you add in a layer, you only have to do it once. So you copy the melody into the layer, you click on the layer, and you say set children. So you click the generators that you want to play the melody and click set children. So now this silent one will play this melody. So if you want to make a change, I only have to do it once. And the same goes for the chords. So let's just call this lead layer. Let's call this chords 1. And let's insert another layer for the chords right now. And by the way, if you didn't know, if you hold shift and you scroll up or down with the wheel, you can actually reorganize your pattern. All right. Let's do it like that. And don't forget to actually assign it. Now let's add some pitch bends. And pitch bends are nice because they kind of make it the lead and the melody a bit more interesting. So let's do a pitch bends on these long notes. And yeah, I do want to make them longer. So let's do that for the chords as well. Now, if you have ghost notes on, which you can enable by helpers, ghost channels, you can actually double click your right mouse button and you go to the other generator. So that's a nice trick if you didn't know it. You actually have to click on the note, obviously, but that's nice to know if you didn't know that. It could improve your workflow, so that's always nice. Right, so I made those longer. Now let's add the pitch bend. So make sure the legato is set to on, and it's on either of these two. It's just what you want. Let me put it on S, that little S right here. If I now press the Q key on my keyboard, it will play the C note. Now if I go to my E key on my keyboard, it'll play the D note. But you actually hear it slide. When you put it to N, it doesn't do that, but you can do some pitch bends with it. So that's how I do it. I always put it to this one. I still don't know what the actual names are. I got to learn them, but I know what they do. That's enough. So let's actually add some pitch bends to these long notes. I always bring the pitch bends to the bass note, because that sounds best in my opinion. So let's do what Fruity Masters is doing right now, is layering in mono. So I've tried it once and it worked alright. But I don't really care about mono because most people listen on stereo speakers, or well, even phones have stereo speakers nowadays. So I'm not really worried about the mono. But let's just do it. Let's see what we can get. So let's copy lead 1. And let's assign it. So if you click show children, it will show which one is assigned to the layer. So this one is not yet. So let's hold shift and click it right here. And then click set children. So it will play this one too. Now, my golden combination of leads is top lead 1, top lead 4, supersaw top lead, and one of the supersaws. I always use that, so I might use that now because it sounds really nice in my opinion. So let's try it. I know top lead 4 doesn't really like to be played in mono, so just so you know it. Alright, let's actually put the melody 1 octave up because I don't want to transpose everything in silent 1. So this one goes down again, these chords go up, and silent 1 goes down again.
I don't know why I did that in the first place. The bass goes up and down in silence.
Now let's actually send these leads to the mixer by selecting them and pressing Ctrl L. Another good tip, I usually do that at the beginning, but you know, recording stress and everything. I always select all the mixer tracks by holding Ctrl and Shift. And let's lower them all. Wait a minute. Alright, let's lower them all. And let's put a parametric equalizer 2 on the master to bring the volume back up again. Now you may be wondering why I'm doing that, because you want to avoid clipping in any of your channels. So if you put it low, like if you put the volume low, the chances of clipping are lower than usual. And you can always turn your speakers up or have a gain on your master. So that's what I always do. So these two might phase a little bit, but it's fine when it goes to stereo. Again, I don't really mind it. So let's make a lead bus. Leads bus. Give it a color and let's route these two to that bus. Let's add a bit of high end to these, because I like high end. It just makes it a bit more bright, which I like. Now don't overdo it. I used to overdo it a lot. Luckily I don't do that anymore. But let's actually add the third lead layer. So this time it will be supersaw top lead, which sounds like this. Let's rename it lead 3, send it to the mixer, and add it to the leads layer. Now this one doesn't have the legato turned on, so let's turn it on. Now let's add that. I really don't know how to call it, but I like the effect. You'll know what I mean when I do it. Pitch AB like this. I don't know how to call it, but I like it. So these are the leads right now. Sounds pretty good for mono. Let's add one final layer for the leads, which is just a regular supersaw. Let's see, supersaw 1. I like 2, so now you see I'm clipping right here. I said I don't want that, so let's lower the volume. Okay, now let's send the chords to the mixer as well. Let's add another one. So chords, whoa, chords 2. Select chords 2, actually, because I like that one too. And let's add it to the mixer and assign it to the lead layer, or sorry, the chords layer. Maybe pitch this one up, because I like that most of the time. Oh, the bass is not assigned to the mixer yet. So that's a danger when you're putting all your mixer tracks down in volume and the master up. So anything that you haven't assigned to the mixer yet, well, it will get really loud. So watch out for that. Right. So let's add a chord bus. Let's assign the chords to the chord bus. Sounds pretty good already. Remember, we are still in mono. So let's add some low cuts. Oh, this one is not assigned. Oh, these two are not assigned to the lead bus, so let's do that. Somewhere around here will do. So this is just, so the lower frequencies will not interfere with the bass, which you really don't want. Even though it might be not a lot, but if you got 4 lead layers and 2 chords layers and you stack it up, the bass will actually increase quite a lot. So just get rid of it. And let's actually add some high ends to these chords as well. Now let's listen to it all together. Sounds pretty good. So this will do it for today. I hope this video won't be too long. I'll be back in the next part and we're going to add some mixing, so reverb and delay and compression, etc. And I'll probably start to arrange the track. So I hope to see you there. And thank you for watching. And don't forget to get my sample pack or my Silent One bank, because it's really useful. And especially if you want to follow along with this tutorial. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you later.